Hi, Casta. I'm adjusting the camera and then we start right away. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lecker Treat, and thank you so much for joining us today. We'll be waiting for a few people to join and then we start. Yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lecker Treat, and today we'll be making a delicious meal, and you love it. Please, if you are on here, you can kindly share with us where you are joining from as we wait for a few people to join as well, and then we start. And please, if you are on here, kindly share with us where you are joining from. It will be awesome to know. Hi everyone, my name is Benedicta and you are very much welcome to Lecker Treat. So please, if you are on here, kindly say hello, and if you don't mind, share where you are joining from. It will be great to know. Yeah. So today we are making a very simple recipe, and it's just soup. It's simply Ghanaian light soup, and it's so simple to put together. Very, very simple to put together. So we'll be taking you through the ingredients very soon. Hi, Casta. How are you doing? Yeah. Hi, hi, Jacques. How are you doing? It's so wonderful having you here. I hope you are all doing great. I hope we are all doing great today. I'm doing very well, and it's a beautiful day over here in Germany. Yeah, thank you so much, Casta. I'm also doing very well. Thank you so much. It's a wonderful day here in Germany. It's so bright and sunny. It was a little bit rainy in the morning. However, it's looking so beautiful, bright and sunny. And today we'll be having a very simple recipe, very quick to put together. Hi, Binda. How are you doing? I hope you are doing great. Yeah. Yeah, I'm also glad to have you. I'm also glad to have you. So we'll wait for a few minutes and then I take you through the... Hi Ingrid. So nice to see you too. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. It's wonderful having you here. Yes, I'm doing very well, Binda. Thank you so much. I'm doing very well. Yeah. So thank you so much to all the wonderful people joining from YouTube, from Jackers, from Ingrid. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah. So today we are having a very simple recipe, as I said earlier. I'm trying to adjust the camera a bit so that we can get a full glimpse of our ingredients, and then we can start right away. Thank you, thank you. It's wonderful you are also doing well. So for our ingredients, we are having today we are making basic light soup. It's a soup recipe, and for it we are using some lamb. I have about 1.5 kilos of lamb over here, which has been washed very well. I got it fresh from the butchery. And then I have some fish over here. It's smoked catfish. I got it fresh from the market, and this is fresh from the Asian store. And this was how it looked. I'll be showing you shortly. It came packaged in this, and then I smoked it myself at home. So this is the final look I have. It's looking very, very beautiful. And if you are from any part of Africa, perhaps you'll be very familiar with this, and it's quite expensive to buy from the African stores. But then I got mine fresh from the Asian store, and then I made it. It's so easy. I'll be putting up a recipe on Lecker Treats very soon. Also, I'll be using some fresh mushrooms. I like to use the brown type, and this is, I'll be using just 500 grams of that. For the fish, I have to check the weight. It's 900 grams in total for the fish. And then I'll be using just about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And then we have some fresh tomatoes here. We have about 4 of that. And then 2 large onions, 1 pepper. I don't want it so spicy, but if you prefer to use a lot of spice in your meals, please feel free to add a bit more to it. And I'll also be using ginger. This is about 2 thumb sizes, and then about 4 cloves of garlic. And I'll be using this seasoning cube. Please, if you don't want seasoning cube, please just add salt to taste. And then of course a bit of salt, because I'll be using just half of the seasoning cube. Yeah. So before we start, we'll be cutting our onions, and then we'll be blending it together with the pepper, with the garlic, and the ginger. Please, as we go on, if you have any question you want to ask, kindly do so, and I'll do well to reply. And if I'm not able to, there are wonderful people on here. Hi, CA Global. You are very much welcome here today. Today we are making light soup, and we are using lamb. We are using this. This is the star of the show. This here is the star of the show today. It's smoked catfish, which was made right here by Lecker Treats. So I'll be talking more about it right before we place it into the soup. Yeah. And then we have some vegetables. We have tomatoes, onions, garlic, ginger, and then pepper. And we have some tomato paste. This is just 2 tablespoons and 500 grams of mushrooms. So we'll begin by cutting our vegetables, and then we will be blending it up. And we'll be using the vegetables to season our lamb meat. So I'm using 2 onions over here. I want to adjust this a bit so that you can have a clear view of it. Hi Ayamfo, you are very welcome today. Thank you so much for joining. It's wonderful having you here today. Yeah, we are so excited having you as well. Yeah. So please, if you are on here, kindly give this video a thumbs up. It will help us a great deal for YouTube to recommend this live session to other people. So please kindly give this video a thumbs up if you are joining. I'm trying to adjust it a bit so that we have a clear view of the ingredients. Yeah, so I'll be chopping up the onions, and I'll be placing it into my hand blender. Come on. Yeah. And then we'll blend it with just about 100 ml of water. You can use a lot if you want, because we are going to basically add a lot more water to make it. We are making soup, so we need some water. Please, if you just joined, kindly say hi and tell us where you are joining from. It will be so great to know, and how you are doing. I believe everyone is doing fine as well. So in goes my onion, and then I'll be adding the garlic. So that's the garlic. And then I'll be chopping up the ginger into smaller sizes so that it can blend easily. I'm not using my blending unit, which is attached to my food processor. Binda is joining from Munich. It's so wonderful having you. And I'm just using hiding rod. Thank you so much, Ingrid. Yeah, I'm just using the ginger. I'm using my hand blender, and with the hand blender it doesn't give you a very smooth consistency. So I'll be chopping up the ginger into smaller bits so that it can easily blend. And I like to have it that way, especially when I'm making hot pepper sauce for my banku, or when I make grease or any hot pepper sauce dip. I usually do not want to have a very smooth consistency. So in that situation, it's always good to use your hand blender. And as I said the previous time, I've been using this for quite a very long time. I don't remember exactly. I think for over almost 8 years, or a little over 8 years now, and it's working great. It's working great since 2013. Yeah. I have just a few chips because it fell down a couple of times. Not a couple of times, for a lot of times, and it's still standing strong. And it's the Siemens brand, so if you plan on getting a hand blender, you can get this brand if you are not yet decided on a brand to get. So we've placed our pepper in, and we'll be adding some water. So I'll be adding about 200 ml of water. This is how it's looking. And then we blend everything up. Yeah. Please excuse the noise. It will make a little bit of noise, but please bear with me. done blending our onion, our garlic, and our ginger, as well as our pepper. And this is the consistency we are having. You see that it's not so smooth, but then it's good enough to use for the stew. So next will be season our meat. We'll be placing it in the pan, and then we can start working on it right away. So, hi Priscilla, thank you so much for joining. You are welcome. Yeah, and just a recap for those who just joined. We are making light soup today. A light soup. We call it light soup in Ghana. It's a Ghanaian delicacy, and it's just simply using any meat of your choice. You can simply do without the meat, or you can add some fish in addition to your meat, or just use fish for it. And today we are making lamb, some fish, freshwater fish, catfish, smoked catfish, and some mushrooms for our soup. So I'll be placing, we've already blended our onion, our garlic, our ginger, and our pepper. And we'll be placing our washed lamb into the pan. I have to drain it a bit. Yeah, so we place our lamb into it. And this is how it's looking in the pan. This is our lamb. And then we'll be placing, we'll be adding, yeah, I hope it's clearly visible. Yeah, so we have our lamb in there, and we'll be pouring, our blended ingredients into it, over it. And then we'll just be using half of our seasoning cube. If you do not have it, please skip it. But if you, or you don't, I don't often use it, just once in a while. And I'll be using just half. So if you do not like using seasoning cube, kindly skip using this step. And then we'll be adding some salt to it. Yes, it's very, very easy. This is how the motto is. So you fix it to this. Someone just asked, I think Binda just asked if it's easy to use the hand blender, and I said yes, it's very, very easy. So there's the blades. The blade, you place the blade attachment on the motor unit, and then once it clicks, you just turn it, and once it clicks, it means it's fixed into place and it's not going to fall off. And when you plug this up, if you do not plug it, this knob right here doesn't really function to turn this. So you have to plug it up, and then once you've plugged it to your socket, you just press on this button, and then it works. Maybe I should demonstrate how it does. So I've plugged it, and this is how it works. I don't know if you could see it, and yes. So that is it. Very, very easy. So you need to keep your hand on this knob whilst you are blending it, and it gives you better control. I'm not sure if there are other brands which has buttons that you just need to press and then hold it, and then it blends during the entire process period you want it to blend for. But it's quite easy. You just press it and then position it at the place you want to blend in the container which has the ingredients you want to blend. So it's very easy. That is it. And it's the Siemens brand. So we'll continue. We have I think we added some salt to lamb meat, and then we added blended ingredients. So we'll be mixing it up, and then add a little bit of water because we do not want to dilute the blended ingredients at this point. We want to infuse the meat with the individual flavors of the onion, garlic, ginger, and pepper. So we do not want to dilute the soup with a lot of water at this time. Just a little bit to season it, and enough to get our tomatoes well cooked. So it depends on the style you want to make your soup. Some people boil these tomatoes before, sorry. Some people cook their tomatoes at the side before they start their soup, and once they are blending these ingredients, they blend it and then pour it over it, and so that everything cooks one after seasoning it. However, I like to, this was how I was taught growing up. So I like to place the tomatoes in like so, and just push it well enough into it. And at the time our meat is well seasoned, let's say for about 5 minutes to close to 6 minutes, tomatoes will be softened enough to blend, like a little bit cooked for us to blend it. We'll take it out to blend it. And sometimes there are other times we used 2 onions when we were blending. So in some situations you can just blend one to season the meat and add 1 more onion to the tomatoes to take out later to blend, which also increases the flavor of the soup. But if you want convenience, not having to blend the onions again, it's best to blend everything together and then blend your onions separately. The reason, blend the tomatoes separately. And I'm going to blend the tomatoes separately because I like to sieve it a bit so that I don't have the seeds in there and a lot of the rough edges, because my kids do not like drinking soup with tomato that is not well blended in it. So that's the sole reason for it. So we'll cover it up and then place it on the stove and allow it to cook. Generally, if you're at home and you'll be cooking this, allow it to cook on low medium heat for it to absorb the flavors and of the blended ingredients. But for the purpose of this live cooking session, yes, you also do not like the seeds. Yeah, that's great to know. Yeah, it's a lot more healthier when you take the soup without seeds in it, and it's also like you're more likely to enjoy it as well. So we have beef in there, lamb meat in there. We'll be seasoning it. Yeah. And as it's seasoning, we'll be rinsing. I like to wash my mushrooms very well. Hi, okay. Hi, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. Yeah. So as the meat is the beef. I keep repeating. Yeah, thank you. I keep repeating beef. It's not beef. It's lamb meat. Yeah. So we'll be rinsing our mushrooms. So I like to wash my mushrooms very well before using it for any meal. And oftentimes when it's a Ghanaian meal. It's called light soup, and it's mostly enjoyed with another Ghanaian delicacy. It's called fufu, and you can also enjoy it with rice, with boiled potatoes or boiled yam, or you can just drink it on its own. And you can use any meat of your choice. You can replace the lamb with chicken, or you can use beef, or you can totally omit using any meat product, and you can just use fish for it, and it will taste absolutely great. Yeah. But for today, we are using lamb, and we are using mushrooms, and also some catfish, which I grilled myself. I smoked at home myself. It's looking so beautiful, and I feel proud of myself because it's so expensive to buy this at the African store, you know, and it's quite hard to. Yes, this soup is also good for the body. If you are down, like you are sick and not feeling really good, you can make this soup and just drink it on without adding anything, or you can eat it with take it with rice, and it helps a lot when you have cold. It helps a lot to bring down the symptoms of it, and for you to get a lot to get better a lot faster. Yeah. So I turned on the heat. I placed it on high heat so that it. Yes, I can also show how to make this catfish. It's so expensive, very expensive to buy here in in Germany. And I'll show you the pack I got. This is the fresh pack I got from the Asian store, and I think it was for four. It came for just €3.50 for the pack of one pack of four, and I just smoked it myself at home just for €3.50. I have all this goodness, so you see how cheap it is. Yeah, yeah. So our soup is boiling just because I turned it on high heat. Please, if you have any experience with this fish, smoked catfish, kindly indicate it in the live chat, so that I know that I'm not I'm not the only one who likes to enjoy this. Yeah. And please, if you are on here, kindly give this video a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed, kindly hit the subscribe button, and also turn on your. Yes, I'll be showing it. Yes, I'll be showing how I grilled this lovely fish. Very expensive to buy in a shop fish, but so cheap to make at home. I'll be showing how I made it, and it took just some. I placed it in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius, and just a few, not few minutes, but then I left it there. You don't have to work on it. You just throw it into the oven and then flip it, and you are good to go. And then I place the stick through it so that we can have this wonderful, beautiful shape. Yes, it's very expensive to buy from the African shop. And just see how beautiful it is. So beautiful. It has already been gutted. That was the great thing about it. It was already gutted. I got it gutted from the store. And if it's not gutted, I hope that I'll get one that is not gutted for me to demonstrate when I'm showing it, for me to demonstrate how to gut it. But it's quite simple to make at home. You would really enjoy it. Just look at this beauty. Yeah. Yes, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful, you know. And you know how expensive fish generally is. So if you get this goodness and you make it, the best part of it is that you know what went right into making it. You know that there is no harmful ingredient that was used to. Yes. It's so delicious as well, and I'll definitely demonstrate how to. Thank you so much, Ingrid. Yeah, I'll demonstrate how I made it pretty soon here on Lecker Treats. Yeah. So we'll be checking on our soup. It's already my house is smelling really good with the fragrance of the soup, and we'll be dishing out. Let me give it quite a little bit of a stir. Excuse me. I'm trying to turn the onions a bit so that it can, the tomatoes a bit so that it can cook a little bit more for us to blend it. And then just give the lamb a stir. Smelling so fragrant in here. So at this point, I'll be, just because I want things to go faster, I'll be adding my tomato paste so that it can cook a lot faster for us. But usually I take it out and I add it after taking out the fresh tomatoes. And then you try to incorporate everything very well for it to cook. So if you know someone who is down with a cold, it will be great to use chicken for the soup. Only chicken will do, or chicken, and then you can add one of this to it. You are done. So just a couple of minutes more, and then we'll take out the tomatoes to blend. Please, as we are cooking, if you have any question, kindly ask, and we'll all try to answer. Yeah. So we'll be washing our mushrooms. I like to usually get my mushrooms from the store, and I also like buying things when they are on sale. So if there's mushroom on sale, I get a lot, not too much, but the quantity that can last me for at least a couple of weeks, because I like using it in my soups for my breakfast. If you want to see my special breakfast meal that I use my mushrooms for, kindly indicate it and I'll record it, or we can all make it together in a live session. I usually make garlic infused mushrooms with it, and it's so delicious. So I like to have some handy, and once I buy it from the store, I give it a rinse. And you know that mushrooms can absorb a lot of water easily. So I either give it a rinse before and wipe it very well, or just throw this. I place this in freezer bags, which I showed a couple of weeks ago, and then I toss it into the freezer for it to freeze. So once I need it for soup or for soups or for my breakfast, I rinse it very well under cold running water and wipe it before I slice it up for my breakfast or use it for the soup. So today, because we are using it for soup, I just kept it in my fridge so it's not frozen. We'll give it a good rinse and then we place it into the soup. I guess we are you I would like to know if you are also having a very beautiful day at your location, or if we are the only ones with a bright sunny day. Yes, it feels like summer. So we are done rinsing our mushrooms. We'll be taking out our tomatoes to boil, and then we can proceed to adding it back into the soup. So I'll be taking it out now. Let me turn down the heat a bit. It feels like it's too high. Oh, I just missed the message from Ingrid. Please, can you write it again? So we have our tomatoes out. We'll blend it and then place it back into the soup. But just a close shot of how our soup is looking. This is how our soup is looking. So beautiful already. This is how it's looking. Yeah. Oh, you're also having a good day. Wow, that's wonderful. Yeah, so we'll blend our tomatoes and then we pour it back into the soup. Thank you so much. Yes, it is. So we are almost done with it. I just blended it for just a couple of minutes and then we will be adding it to the soup. Yes, it smells really good. Very, very good. You need to try this recipe. You need to try it and then you come back and say a huge thanks to me. Yeah. So I added a bit more water to it and then I have this here. I got this from IKEA. So if you are wondering where you can get one from, IKEA is a good place. It was very, very cheap to get. And most homeware goods, kitchen stuff, you can easily get them at an affordable price at IKEA if you have it close to you. Please do get the fish from the Asian market and then I'll be showing the rest. Yay! Thank you, Ingrid. And please, if you happen to try it out, if you do not mind, please share a picture of the final product or the process on Instagram and tag us. We are our username is Lecker Treats 1 on Instagram. Yeah, Lecker Treats 1. So I'll be adding just pouring some water over this to make sure that I get all the good stuff from the tomatoes before I throw the roughage and seeds away. So in total, this will make about, yeah, Lecker Treats 1, please, not I. Lecker Treats 1 on Instagram. Yeah, Binda. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I like to pour some water over this so that we get out all the good stuff from this. And in total, you should be using, for this quantity of meat, you should be using, and the ingredients we used, you should be adding about, it makes about 2 liters of soup. So if you want it a bit thick, maybe 1.5 liters will do. But even with that, the meat will be too much. So 2 liters will be fine. So if you just joined, we are making light soup today. We used lamb meat. excuse me, this is the roughage we have, and you can see that it has a lot of the seeds in there. We are going to just dispose it and enjoy our soup. Yeah, so we are making lamb soup, and at this point our soup, yes, light soup. Hi Betty. We are making light soup, so I added some lamb meat, and we seasoned it with 2 onions, 4 cloves of garlic, 2 thumb size of ginger, and we also added 3 tomatoes and 1 pepper, because I do not want it to be so hot. My kids will be taking it, so I just used 1. If I was taking it alone, I would have added extra 1. But there's a good news. I'll just be placing a couple in there so that when I'm eating, I can just rub a bit into the soup to get that extra added heat. So at this point, usually I would let the soup boil a bit before adding the mushrooms. But because I want everything to boil faster, I would place the mushrooms into it and then allow the soup to boil, everything to boil. And for you to know that your soup is done, you see that we have a foamy film on top. I'm not sure if you can clearly see. I'll try and fetch some. There's a foamy film on top once you place the blended tomatoes in. So once the soup is done, all the foamy film is going to disappear. And this is the foamy film we have on here. This is the foamy film I'm talking about. Yeah. And it's going to disappear once the soup is well cooked. Yeah. So I placed my mushrooms in there, and I'll let it cook a bit before we add our star of the show. Before we add our mushrooms. No, the mushrooms are not the star of the show. Before we add our beautiful catfish. All this, 4 of this for €3.50. I simply can't imagine how cheap this is. Yeah. So in the meantime, I'll clear this place up a bit, and then I'll be sharing something. Yes, that's the test, the litmus test to do. To ensure that your soup is done. Yeah. Thank you so much, Betty. Thank you so much. So we have Betty from Betty's Simple Kitchen here. She's also an awesome cook, and she's on YouTube as well, showing very good recipes. So please do check out her channel after the live session, and you would enjoy her recipes. Yeah. So as soup is cooking, I'll be demonstrating what I'll be having it with. And it's usually as I said earlier, we have it with fufu, and fufu is typically made of thank you so much, Betty. Thank you so much. Fufu is typically made of cassava and plantain. Some people also use cocoyam, cassava and cocoyam. So we peel the cassava, and then we peel the plantain or cocoyam, whichever one you want to have it with, and then yeah. Yes, and then we peel the cassava, and then we peel the plantain, and then we wash everything very well, place it into a pan, cover it up, and then allow it to cook until it's done. And then comes the hard part. You know, fufu is so delicious, but then the process of making it is quite difficult, especially back in Ghana. So we place it in a mortar. We use a mortar and a pestle, and then you can do it by yourself if you are eating alone. If it's a small quantity, you can hit pound it with one hand and then turn it with the other, to make it look nice, to form to make sure the consistency is what you are looking for, and then it comes out very good. Or you can have one person pounding and the other person turning it. So back in Ghana, I used to enjoy turning it, and then usually you have the women turning the fufu and the men with the strong muscles. Even if you're a man and you do not have muscles, you are supposed to learn how to pound fufu, and you see them sweating and all. Yeah, so it's a lot of hard work, and then they get to enjoy the best part once they are done, because they spent all their energy pounding it, so they need to fill it up. So that is the process of making fufu in Ghana. It's quite, so if you have any Ghanaian who serves you the authentic Ghanaian fufu, please know that it was out of hard work and love for you. That was why they served you that goodness. Over here in Germany, you can get the fresh cassava, or if you are living anywhere outside Ghana and you are not able to use your mortar and your pestle. No, I do not have a mortar and a pestle, but then the next time I travel and visit Ghana, I think I need to get a cute one. I need to get a cute one to have. if only my husband is going to pound it, then I will get it. Yes. Yes, a cute one, of course, so that I enjoy it with him. But if not, then I think we'll have to make do with our newly reformed fufu. Yeah, so over here in Germany, you can get the fresh cassava, or you can, and also the plantain from the Asian stores. They are very cheap to get, or from the African markets, and then you boil it and then place it in a food processor if you have one, and then it just processes it and comes out very, very smooth, and then you just have to mold it to enjoy it. So see our soup, it's boiling. Excuse me, it's boiling and looking very beautiful. Very beautiful. And it's very fragrant as well. So as I was saying, if you use a food processor, you can easily make your fufu. However, if you do not have access to a food processor, or access to you don't live close to an Asian market or an African market, then there is great news. I discovered this I think about in 2016, when a friend of mine introduced me to this recipe I'm just about to demonstrate. So I'm getting my saucepan, just a little one, so that just for demonstration purposes, and then you'll get to know how it's made, how this goodness is made. So I have my saucepan here, and then the good news of to making your own homemade fufu are these two ingredients. Kartoffel, potatoes. You need your potato puree, and you also need your potato flour. So in Germany, we have the Kartoffel meal, and then you have the Kartoffel puree. Oh, Jacques said he has bad weather at his end. I hope that it improves. Oh, too bad. I'm praying that it improves. Yeah. Where are you joining from? Yeah, it'll be great to know where you are joining from, Jacques, so that we pray for a better weather tomorrow. So I'll keep your location in prayers tomorrow. Yeah. So a friend of mine introduced me to this, combining these two ingredients to making my fufu. She's Ghanaian, by the way, a wonderful friend of mine called Abby. She introduced me to this, and I haven't looked back ever since. Previously, I was getting myself the pack of mixed fufu from the African stores, and as you know, it's very expensive, very expensive. But this comes for, it's very cheap. This is less than €1, and this as well. And we use this several times, just these two packs several times. So for just one sachet of this, It comes 3 in the pack. So if you live somewhere that you have access to potato puree, yes, oh, you can easily get the kartoffel meal. You do not find it in all grocery stores, but then you can find it in Rive, you can find it in Kaufland, in Real, and at Edeka. So I found it in these 4 places: Rive, Edeka, Kaufland, and Real. You find it easily. And I use the Cushion Master. This is the brand I use. It's a tried and tested brand, and I haven't looked back using these 2. For the kartoffel meal, I don't mind buying from any store, but for the the kartoffel puree, I don't mind buying it from any store. This is of much utmost importance, and I ensured to get the kartoffel meal from this brand. Yeah. There was a time that I wanted to experiment. You know, if you love to cook, thank you so much, Ingrid, as well. So if you love to cook, you like to experiment to find out, just in case if you do not have the kartoffel meal, let me mix it, and as I'm mixing, I'll be talking about that. So to mix it, I just need 1 sachet just for demonstration purposes. And then I pour it into this. And then I will be using a measuring spoon to measure it. Normally, I do not measure. I just pour it, and with my observation, I know the quantity I need. But I'll try and record this fufu recipe as well on Lecker Treats, and then I'll leave the details of it down there. So 1 sachet of kartoffel meal. And then I'll try and measure to find out the quantity of the meal I need. Not that much. If you want your fufu to be quite stretchy, then you need to add a bit more of the meal. But if you do not want that, then just a little. I have 1 spoon there, 2, and maybe 2.5 is fine for this quantity. Yeah, 2.5 spoons of kartoffel meal for 1 sachet of kartoffel puree. And this is what we have. So the next part comes the mixing of it. Usually, if you want to do a lot of work on it, then you will be mixing it. I like to mix it with cold water, not warm water, very cold water. If you want to do a lot of work, like how do we call that name? You know, the word has escaped me, but then I'll be demonstrating it. So if you want to work a lot with your muscles on this, then you should mix it to a very soft consistency. But if not, please do not mix it with a lot of water, so that later on, once everything comes together. Yeah, cold water, because once we add water to this mixture, it's going to clump together. So I like to use cold water to try to reduce the process a bit, and then once we place it on the fire, it can start cooking. And please, once you pour your kartoffel meal, the potato flour in, and you add it to the potato puree, kindly mix it up. Do not pour water into it, because you are going to have clumps. Mix everything up. I already washed my hands. And you mix everything up until you have a very unevenly mixed consistency over here. And then you add your water. So I'll try to measure it up and then record a session. Let me see how much water I'm using for this. So I used 1 sachet of kartoffel puree, 2.5 tablespoons of kartoffel meal. So 1 tablespoon of kartoffel puree, potato puree for those who do not speak German, 1 tablespoon of potato puree, and 2.5 tablespoons of potato flour. And then I'll be measuring. I I have 300 ml of water here, so I'm going to see the quantity of water I'll be adding initially before I start working on it. And once you add the water to it, please try and mix everything very fast because it will clump together. And this is what I'm talking about. You see, I added the water and we already have a ball formed. Just a little bit of water I added, we have a ball formed. So I want it to be a little bit softer than this. And let me see. So we added about 100 ml of water for a start, and then we'll work on it and then add a bit more for it to do the cooking. Because I do not want to spend my energy stretching it out with a wooden spoon, I like to have a little bit of a tough consistency before that I would work with, and later on add some warm water for it to boil. So the process of it boiling on fire will do the cooking for me, and then I do not waste a lot of time preparing it. So this is the consistency we have. It's not soft and it's not so tough as well. So I'm raising my hand and then I'll do it. If you do not have, usually we use this wooden spoon for it. You can get it in any African store of your choice. But if you do not have the spoon, again, I'm back to the rescue. Benedicta is back to the rescue. If you do not have the spoon, please try as much as possible to use any wooden spoon for your stews. Excuse me. You can use the wooden spoons that are sold in the regular grocery markets for your stews. You can use that to turn it. I've done it on several occasions because I just want to try to find out an alternative for people who do not have it. So you can use that one, or you can use the plastic spoon for stews. Yes, if you do not have the wooden type, you can also use the plastic spoon for stews, because it all depends on how you start it. If you get the consistency right at the start of it, then it's going to work for you. So I'll be working on it here and just be turning it like so until everything comes together. I think I'll add a bit more water to it because it feels quite tough. So maybe 150 ml of water initially will do. Please, if you have any question, kindly write it in the live chat and I'll be so glad to answer it. So you keep turning it and turning it on it depends on how fast you want, but for the purpose of this live session, I'll be making it on medium heat. Sorry, on high heat, so that it cooks faster for us. And see how beautiful our soup is cooking. It looks really, 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 really good. I'll lower the heat a bit on the soup, and then we can prepare our fufu. And the great thing with this is that there is no taste in value. The value is the same. It tastes really good. If you offer it to someone, if you offer it to a Ghanaian who has been eating fufu for a very long time, they cannot tell the difference. They cannot tell the difference. And just for this, I'm always for low prices but good quality. So just for a few cents, less than €1, you'll be enjoying fufu every time. There is no need to buy the already packaged pack that is so expensive. So a lot of thanks to Abby for showing me this recipe, and for well over 5 years I've been making this. Please, if you would want to see this recipe on Lecker Treats, the recorded version, kindly comment down below and I'll be so glad to do it. Yeah. So you keep turning and turning and turning it until it comes together, and then we'll be adding some water to it, and then we cover it up and allow the heat, the fire and water to boil it to perfection. Yeah. So as I was saying, because I love to experiment a lot to find alternatives for almost everything I make, I wanted to see, we all know how readily available or easily available kartoffel potato puree. Exactly, there is no taste, no difference in taste compared to the authentic one. Yeah. So as I was, yay, Val Life Skills, thank you so much. I sure will. May I please know where you are joining from? Yeah, so as I was previously saying, I love to experiment a lot to find alternatives that are readily and easily available and can be of help to other people. I decided, because this is quite like, it's, you don't find this easily in other stores. So I from Cottbus. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it a lot. Yeah. Today we are making some light soup, an authentic soup from Ghana. And for light soup, you can use any beef, any meat, any fish of your choice. You can make only fish light soup. You can, a great type of fish you can use for light soup is tilapia. You can also use mackerel. However, mackerel is strong, it has a strong smell, so if you are down with a cold, please do not use mackerel. It's best to use the smoked catfish for it. And yeah, so we used lamb. We are using lamb today. We are also using smoked catfish, which we made right here on Lecker Treats. We smoked our catfish ourselves. See how beautiful it's looking. Very, very, very beautiful. Yeah. I got the fresh catfish from the African store, from the Asian store, and this is the fresh type I got from the Asian store, and then I smoked it myself. And I got it for only €3.50. Great price, great value at home. Yeah. So we are using these three to make a very special soup today. And we are making it, we are going to have it with fufu. And that is what I'm making now. So because my heat is high, it's burning a little bit at the bottom because this saucepan is not non-stick. So whenever I'm making this, I try as much as possible to use a non-stick pan so that nothing goes waste. I want to have value for this. This is waste right there, and I do not like that. So I use a non-stick pan. I do not have a smaller type. This was the only one I had available to demonstrate. So that's the sole reason why I'm using this one. But if you are at home and you have, if you are at home and you have a non-stick pan, please try as much as possible to use it for your fufu or for your banku or your grease, and then it will save you a lot of the meal. Yeah, so before I continue, I was trying to tell you how I was experimenting with other ingredients to find out if it's going to work. And the ingredient I tried was cornstarch. Because this is a little bit starchy and it helps, you can use this to make cakes. It's a good binding agent. I thought, cornstarch is also, it has this binding capabilities from what I've noticed. So I was like, it may likely work. So I added a substantial amount to my kartoffel puree. I was so excited with how everything came together. I had the similarities of adding water to this, and then it just clumps together. I experienced the same thing. Yay, Modesta! Sure, I'll definitely show it on Lecker Treats. I'll definitely show the recipe on Lecker Treats. So I was so excited with. Thanks a lot, Modesta, for joining. Thank you so much. Yeah, so yay, Ayanfo also wants to see the recipe on Lecker Treats. Yeah, thank you so much, Ayanfo. Yeah, Modesta, where are you joining from today? Yeah. Yeah. Please, if you are on here and you've not yet subscribed, kindly hit the subscribe button. And please turn on your notification bell to be notified whenever new videos are uploaded. The reason for turning on your notification is that if you when we upload new videos, you are likely to receive a notification for it. But if you do not turn it on, YouTube is not going to prompt you that Lecker Treats has uploaded a video unless you come on here to find out for yourself. So that is the sole reason why. So our fufu is coming together. And this is what we are having now. In short versions, okay, I sure will. So this is what we are having now. You see everything has really formed well. We'll be adding some water to this. I like to use, if you have a kettle, you can boil water right away so that you add it and then it boils faster. If not, you can just add warm water from the tap and it should work fine for you. And the reason for this is that you do not want to put cold water into it. So I added about 100 ml more of water to this. At this point, it all depends on the consistency you are looking for. You please add water at this point, if a lot more water if you want a very soft fufu. But if you want a tough one, then you try to reduce it. So I added about 100 ml of water. And then we are going to cover it and allow the water to boil. After boiling for a while, we'll be flipping it. And then allow the other side to boil as well. And then we are good to go. We don't have to waste much energy trying to stretch it with a wooden spoon over and over and over and over again. We are done. We are almost done. So we'll leave it for it to cook. I have turned on the heat for the purpose of this live session so that we can continue. And as I was saying, the funny thing I was talking about, I added the cornstarch. I had that perfectly well combined mixture which came together it was tough, and I was like, wow, I got it, it's going well. So next came me putting it on fire, and then I started stretching it. I stretched it for about 5 minutes. It wasn't coming together. I was like, what's happening? 10 minutes 15 minutes. Then I knew, of course it didn't get to 15 minutes, but then I knew that it wasn't going to work. It didn't work. It was on fire for long. I added a bit of water to see if when it boils it's going to come together. It never did. So far cornstarch is not a great alternative to this. I am yet to find an alternative, and of course when I do, I'll be so glad to share it with you all. So for now, please let's stick to our potato puree and our potato flour to make our wonderful, cheap but exquisite Ghanaian fufu. And as I previously said, there is no taste in the value. The value is the same. You will testify to me later, I know. Yeah. So we are almost done with our soup. And as I said previously, you get to know if your soup is cooked if the foamy film on top reduces drastically. And once you add the water to the tomatoes that we sieved earlier, you can taste for the salt and add a bit more. Or if you want to be on the safer side, when it's about to get because we started the sauce with, yeah, thank you so much, Modesta. I hope you have a beautiful weather in Berlin today. Yeah, we had Jacques saying that he does not have a good weather. So we are praying for him to have a very good weather tomorrow. So at this point, because we started to season the soup with salt and a bit of Hi Kelvin, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. From Munich person. I can easily imagine that you are having a great weather. Yes, yes, yes. Presla. Yeah, you can buy. Oh, potato. The potato flour is in Netto. Wow, that's wonderful. Presla says that this potato flour is easily available in Netto. That is great news. So now we have 5 places you can get this potato flour from Real, from Edeka, from Rive, from Kaufland, and from Netto. Fantastic, fantastic. So yeah, that is it. So because we added salt to season our meat and we added a bit of seasoning cube to it, we didn't add, we have to be cautious about the salt we'll be adding to it right now. So we have to taste for it first before we do. And please bear in mind that once your soup is not close to being done and as it's boiling, the water will be evaporating. So if you add a lot of salt and by the time you are done, it will be tasting salty because we have most of the water evaporating while it's boiling. So you can take any clean spoon and taste for it. Please try to allow it to cool a bit and then we taste for the salt. It tasting good, a little bit spicy because I used a bigger size of the pepper, but that just reminded me to get extra pepper. I'm getting extra pepper from my freezer and then place it here for it to get cooked by the time it's done. So just as a couple of seconds. So as I was saying, I love to buy things when they are on sale and then I freeze it up. So this is a freezer bag I got from IKEA. Once I buy my pepper, I sometimes get it from the Asian store, from the African store. Thank you so much, Vinda. Yeah, once I get the pepper from the African store, I take off the attachment. It has two the attachment that was on the pepper, whatever, on the tree it grew on the plant it grew on. It's not a tree, it's a little plant. Yeah, I take off that attachment, make sure I wash it very well, and then I wipe it and then place it in the freezer bag. It's an airtight bag. I seal it up and place it in the freezer. So once I'm making my meals, it's already washed. I don't have to do an extra washing. I just take any quantity I want and then place it into my stew. So I'll be placing 2 into it, 2 smaller ones, because I have to make sure I have extra. That's all I have at home now, and I have to go and purchase some more. So 2 is fine at this moment. By the time the soup is completely done, we are good to go. So we'll be turning our fufu a bit. The heat was quite hot, and this is what we have as a now from the first turn. Yeah, we'll flip it and then add a little bit more, just a little bit more water because of the consistency I'm going for. So please feel free at this point to add water according to your preference. If you are not sure and you are doing it for the first time, do not add much. You can add a little bit, flip it on both sides, allow it to cook for this quantity, maybe 4 minutes on each side, and then you stretch it out. And after stretching, if it's the perfect consistency, then you can enjoy it. If it's too tough, you can just add a little bit of water to it, cover it up, allow it to cook for some time, and then you stretch it again until you get the perfect consistency you are looking for. So that is it. Yeah, so as I was saying, that having the foamy film disappear is a clear indication that our soup is almost done. Thank you so much, for yeah, we try to have these live sessions so that we can explain the reasons why we add certain ingredients or go through a certain process when cooking. So I also really love to interact with you. It's wonderful. Yeah, so at this point we'll be lowering the heat, and then I'll add just a little bit of the salt, not too much. Please do add it to suit your taste, but not too much. Just adding this bit to it. And then in goes my star of the show. I just can't stop talking about this. In goes my beautiful Lecker treats made catfish. Yeah, so this is it. In goes my beautifully Lecker treats made smoked catfish. Yeah, so we'll be placing it into it. And at this point, you would like to lower the heat a bit because it's quite delicate. So in goes one, in goes the next, and then we place the other one into it. I think I have room for only two, so this is a great opportunity for me to have a taste. Yeah, so I'll try to break one. Thank you so much, okay? Thank you so much from Bayan. That's wonderful. Yeah, so we'll be breaking one because it didn't fit into the soup. I can of course place it under, but just because my daughter said I like to eat a lot whilst cooking, let's prove her right. Yeah, so we would have to taste to see if it's delicious. So see how wonderful it's looking. Yay, Kelvin, I'm waiting for you. Please come over. So see, we have a perfect looking catfish, freshly made at home. For €3.50 we had 4, and nothing beats the taste of homemade goods. And there's a trick I use. The thing is, I chanced upon it. So delicious. You know, the one we buy from back home in Ghana has this smoky flavor to it. But the good thing was that when I was baking it, I noticed that when I bake with a regular top and bottom oven signs, it was going to take quite some time. So I turned it to the fan oven, and just using that fan oven produced a lot of smoke in the oven, and that was infused into the fish. So you have a hint of smoky flavor in there. My whole house was smelling of this. So delicious. Perfect. Very delicious. All this goodness. Yeah, it's so delicious. You need to give it a try. You need to give it a try. So at this point, and another tip is that if you want to have it very dry, as we do back home, after smoking it, you can dry it in the sun. If you have a balcony or you have a terrace, you can place it on a plate or in a tray and then spread it out for it to dry, so that the ones we have is so dry that it can last for a longer time without placing it in the fridge. If not, you can just allow it to bake again in the oven if you want to have it really dry. But for me, this is fine. Having it fresh and it going right into my soup, it's awesome. So we'll take a quick check on our fufu, and I think we are almost done. It was almost getting burnt because the oven, the heat was quite high. So I would be molding it at this point. And please do not be concerned if it breaks into smaller bits. You can just do it like so, and then you start molding it out. At this stage, we are waiting for our fufu to be done, and then we can enjoy. Our soup is almost done as well. I want to immerse this into the soup. Allow it to cook. Yeah. So like I said, if you do not have this wooden spoon, you can use your, if you do not have the flat ones that you can easily find from an African store, you can easily buy from the buy a wooden spoon from the grocery store or from IKEA, or you can use the plastic spoon for it. And like I also said earlier, if you want your fufu to be very stretchy, then please do well to add a bit more of the potato starch. So we are almost there. And in case you are making it and you notice that it's too soft and it's not coming together, please add water, a little bit of water to the potato flour, just a little bit, and pour it over it and allow it to and then stretch everything, mix it together very well, and then it will become hard for you. It will harden up a bit for you. So I'll take a little bit for you to see how it's looking now. This is how it's looking. And it's like the soft, stretchy fufu type in Ghana. This is how it's looking like. So we are almost there. I'm getting my plate ready. Then you can take it out, and then you allow it to cool down and mold it if you want. It's quite hot, and then I'll try to see if I can mold it up before we end the live session, because it's quite hot, but I wanted to try to see if I could mold it. Oh my goodness, it's too hot. It's too hot. This is what we have. I wanted to mold it a bit. You can see the vapor coming out, but you have to allow it to cool down a bit, and then you can mold it. And it's quite soft and stretchy. Yeah. And you see it has the color of the fufu that we make with cassava and yam. It has that color. Yeah. So very, very simple to make at home. Very, very, my goodness. I think I have to let it cool down completely before attempting to make it. It's very, very hot. and our fish is coming, our soup is coming together. Everything is working out fine. I'll be dishing out some for you to see the outcome, and then we can call it a day as my fufu is trying to cool down. So at this point, I think we need to go fishing in Lecker treat soup to find out what we can get. So when we came fishing, we found this wonderful looking lamb meat. and then we have, it's so tender. See how tender it's looking. I think I need to get a plate for that. See how tender it's looking. It's so hot I can't touch it, but it's quite tender to chew. I wanted to take a taste, but then it's too hot. And then I'll let it cool down here, and then we take a taste before we go off. So you can dish out your soup. If you have guests around, you can dish it out into a bowl like this. I got this from IKEA. Very, very affordable. And then your guests will be so excited to be served this meal. Trust me. They'll be so pleased if you welcome your guests, Ghanaian or from any African or European country. They'll be wonderful and they'll be glad and pleased to have this. So we have our fish in there, and there comes our other fish. Look how wonderful this fish is. It's already looking, it's soaked up the juices of the soup, and it's looking so good. So good. Yeah, I'll try to pour a bit over the food. I couldn't mold it because it's so hot, but then I'll pour a bit over it for you to see if you can. Yeah. Thank goodness it's too hot. Too hot. I'll pour a bit of the soup over it, and then you see how we usually serve it. So you pour your soup over your fufu, and then you add a bit of some meat, and then you add some fish, you add some mushrooms, like I'm doing, and then you can place in your, this thing is quite hot. Yeah, you can add your fish to it, and then you are good to go. So I'm trying to get one of the fish into it, and then you see how we usually serve fufu in Ghana. And this is where the men who pound the fufu feel excited, because they are going to be rewarded for their for their hard work. So I'll be showing you how it's looking. Are you ready? Here comes the bride. See the bride. See this. Oh my goodness, it's pouring. See the star of the show. This is our star of the show. Looking so beautiful in here. We have some shrimps. That's the fufu in there, and it's like an island. Yeah, the fufu with the soup is like an island with trees and all other type of stuff in there. So we have the fufu, we have the lamb meat, we have the mushrooms, and then we have the oven smoked fish, which we made ourselves. Is this not beautiful? Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been wonderful having you. I'll show you the other bowl I fetched. And then you can see how that is also looking. So this is it. This is it. And we still have more in there, about half in the pan. Thank you so much, Ayamfo. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this is our soup. You can keep it in the fridge for up to a week if you want to preserve the taste. And you can also pour it into bowls, and it can stay in your freezer for well up to 3 months. It should be fine. It should be fine in your deep freezer. And this is what we have left in this pan. Yeah, so beautiful. I'll be recording thank you so much, Priscilla. I'll be recording how to make the fufu on Lecker treats, and then I'll show you how to mold it, because with that one I can let it cool down really well and then I can mold it. So I'll be recording it on Lecker treats very soon and show you all the ingredients you need. It's very, very simple. Perhaps there would be it's so simple. You do we Thank you so much. It's been wonderful having you here, and I'll be eating this wonderful meal on behalf of everyone, and I hope you give it a try at home. I hope you can easily get the ingredients in your grocery store close to you and make this awesome goodness. Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope to see you again next week, same time, for another great recipe that we'll be making together. Yeah, it's always awesome to cook with you. Thanks a lot. If you have any question, please ask now. If not, we'll call it a Lecker Treats Day. Yeah. Thank you so much. I guess there's no question. So thank you so much for the love. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you again next week, same time. 4:30 p.m. CET, Central Eastern Time, and 2:30 p.m. GMT. Yeah, that is it. Thank you, Kelvin. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Yeah, so that is our goodness right there. Yeah, please, if you have any question, please ask now, or if not, then I really appreciate you all. See you again next week, the same time. Bye! Yeah, another simple, easy, and lekker recipe. Thanks a lot. See you next week, God willing. Thank you so much, Casta. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay, bye for now. Bye.